Well, the Philadelphia suburbs are going to be of keen interest Tuesday night. Enthusiasm for Vice President could be a tipping point in the state. She almost certainly needs to win the White House. John King visited one community in his final all-over-the-map report ahead of the election there in the state.
Swarthmore is a postcard of suburban life. Leafy, friendly. Philadelphia, just a 30-minute commute by train. Home to Shannon Elliott, her family, and her small business.
We have a beautiful college campus, woods, trails, close proximity to a lot of different things, but just often a quiet, close-knit community.
This is Southeast Pennsylvania, Delaware County, a place where Kamala Harris needs to win big if she hopes to claim the biggest of the battleground prizes.
A lot of the messages I get are more panic, so I feel panicked.
Elliott's vote is not in question.
I don't want to go back there. I see how he treats people and bullies people, and these are things I tell my teenage kids not to do. Why would I want to see my president doing that?
Design?
Harris needs to match or beat Biden's 2020 numbers in the suburbs.
I'll fix it up.
But Elliott hears hints of apathy and of sexism, hints of 2016.
And I think people were afraid to vote for a woman once it got down to the final choice, and they made a mistake. And now here we are again with that same decision facing people, and I'm worried it's going to happen again.
Delaware County is reliably blue, but there are pockets where Trump runs strong.
I'm most upset about the lack of a border and the lack of our sovereignty and how that's eroded in the last 3 years. And I feel as an American citizen, I'm underserved, overtaxed, I'm kind of diminished.
Kristen Kapara registered Republican at the age of 18 back in 1988. The Philadelphia suburbs were red then, but Kapara is outnumbered in her Drexel Hill neighborhood now.
We vote on different sides of the aisle, but we are proud Americans. The American flag is outside all of our homes, and so I'm very comfortable there.
This is
In 1 mile, keep right to take the exit 33B for I-95 south towards Providence, Rhode Island.
And this is back in Delaware County, where Kapara teaches figure skating. She believes Trump will run stronger this year because of concerns about inflation, the border, and whether Harris is too liberal.
Well, I think right now there's a very quiet Trump vote. He does have some bizarre behaviors, but at the end of the day, I feel he's patriotic, and I feel he loves this country, and my version of
In half a mile, keep right to take the exit 33B for I-95 south towards Providence, Rhode Island.
Settle close races here.
That was John King. Harris needs to win the suburbs. By how much?
By a ton, Anderson. 67 counties in Pennsylvania. Joe Biden carried only 13 of them. Only 13 of 67. How do you win?
Keep right to take the exit 33B for I-95 south towards Providence, Rhode Island.
Let's go through these Pennsylvania counties. The three collar counties right around Philadelphia. Bucks County is one of them. It's the most competitive. See how the president did in 2020?
In a quarter mile, merge onto the highway on your left.
She won it, but not by as much. Let's move to Montgomery County. She won it there pretty comfortably, but then come to 2020, Joe Biden won it by even more. This is where I am tonight, Delaware County. Look at that huge Biden margin. 4 years before that, Hillary Clinton also won it, but not quite as big. In just those three counties, Montgomery, Bucks, and Delaware, Hillary Clinton beat Donald Trump by 162,000 votes. In those same three counties, Joe Biden beat Donald Trump by 239,000 votes. What is the difference?
Merge onto the highway on your left.
Joe Biden got 76,000 more votes.
Continue for 5 miles on I-95.
In those three suburban counties, right? How much did he win Pennsylvania by? 81,000 votes. Suburban math matters. Harris runs it up here, she has a chance.
All right. John King, thanks. Coming up, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has endorsed a number of false conspiracy theories, particularly about vaccines. So why does the former president want to give him a top position overseeing health care? Why does he keep mentioning it on the campaign trail? Our panel weighs in next.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada. Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/tunein and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/tunein. in.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like...
Shopify helps you sell at every stage of your business. Like that, let's put it online and see what happens stage.
And the site is live.
That we opened a store and need a fast checkout stage. Thanks, you're all set. That count it up and ship it around the globe stage.
This one's going to Thailand.
And that, wait, did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Whatever your stage, businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/tunein.
Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring Gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. You could call them scent maracas, but most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
Transform your home for less with Remodelers Outlet's Fall Home Improvement Sale. Save up to 20% on JSI cabinetry, Wolf Dartmouth style cabinets, countertops, and more. October 18th through the 26th. Don't miss out on this last sale of the year. Visit remodelersoutlet.com today.
Everyone's buzzing about Sugar Bee apples. Now on sale at Shaw's and Star Market. Today through Thursday. Pick up Sugar Bee apples for just 97 cents a pound when you use a digital coupon. Limit 5 pounds. Yes, that's right. Just 97 cents a pound for deliciously sweet and juicy Sugar Bee apples. When you shop with the Shaw's app, you get amazing deals and earn points on every purchase. Short on time, order free curbside pickup, or get delivery. Shaw's and Star Market. Perfecting the art of fresh.
Macy's Friends and Family is going on right now, and it's the best time to shop for all the gatherings and gifting ahead. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off the latest trends, new arrivals, and the best brands like Karl Lagerfeld Paris, Steve Madden, Hotel Collection, and more. And get 15% off beauty too. Plus, get free shipping with any $25 purchase today at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes.
Hidden away in rural Poland, archaeologists have made a shocking discovery.
The burial is so spectacular that it looks like nothing I've ever seen before.
A grave unlike any other.
We're going into a world which is not safe.
A woman buried as a vampire. An international team has spent 2 years using cutting-edge science.
We never did it before.
In 1 mile, keep right to take the exit 6 for I-295 South.
To find out who this woman was.
It's likely the person suffered.
And why she was so feared, even in death.
She had headaches. She would faint. She was strange.
They delve into the murky world of vampirism from centuries past.
We are essentially talking about a court procedure against a corpse.
And incredibly, they discovered this
In
woman...
half a mile, keep right to take the exit 6 for I-295 South.
It is for people that were abandoned.
This is an epidemic of fear.
Until they come face to face with the woman so feared, locals made sure she could never rise again.
Keep right to take the exit 6 for I-295 South.
The vampires.
Continue for 15 miles on the ramp.
I have to admit, this is intriguing, to say the least. I've been waiting for this journey something like 1.5 years.
Oscar Nielsen is one of the world's most renowned forensic facial reconstructors. He's worked alongside Swedish police forces for decades. Now he's to visit a very different kind of crime scene and to reconstruct the face of a woman 350 years old.
I will try to get as much forensic evidence as possible collected at this journey to get started with reconstructing my face. We are lucky that human skeletons leave traces for us to read, almost like a book of the life that the person has lived.
But this woman and the condition of her grave when archaeologists found it are unlike anything he has ever encountered before.
When I first heard about this woman being buried as a vampire, I thought perhaps it was a bit exaggerated, but then I saw the photos and it's shocking to see the sickle over her neck. That is unsettling to watch, and it's certainly affected me emotionally.
Oscar is heading nearly 200 miles northwest of the Polish capital, Warsaw, to the tiny village of Pienia. Hidden away from the main roads, even today, it's not an easy place to find. For generations, the villagers of Pienia have avoided this hill. It's never been built on, and children are taught to avoid it. In 2022, a team of archaeologists led by Dariusz Polinsky and Magdalena Zadrodzka heard strange stories about skulls washing down a hillside. And they made a shocking discovery, a burial unlike any they had ever seen before.
The first thing that we found was something with the sound of iron or metal. After delicately brushing it, it turned out to be convex, and after a while, we knew it was a sickle.
The sickle was deliberately placed across the neck of the deceased, seemingly to restrain the dead woman. But that's not all they found, as translator Marcin reveals.
They found another metal object, which was surprising because they already found the sickle.
A chunk of rusted metal was found attached to the woman's toe. Investigations revealed that it was a padlock, but not just any padlock. This triangular shape is incredibly rare. Before this excavation, only one had been found in the whole of Poland. Unusually, the padlock was found open. Together, the padlock and sickle make this burial unique in Poland, if not the world. This extraordinary discovery has also caught the attention of historian Dan Jones. He has long been fascinated by Eastern Central European ritualism.
I have to admit, when I first saw the pictures, I was incredibly excited. I've never seen anything like this before. Is this a crime scene? Is this evidence of the supernatural? Is this evidence of a unique craze, or are we in fact stepping back into an entirely different world in which Europe was governed by totally different rules?
Carbon dating reveals this woman was buried in the 17th century, at a time when the people of Poland were fighting for their very survival.
There was the 30 Years' War, which occupies a lot of Central Europe, hundreds of thousands of deaths, and all set against a period of climate change in which temperatures dropped, harvests failed, disease rose. For ordinary people, they were really living on the edge.
Oscar's first priority is to determine whether he's looking at a crime scene.
It must have been almost a shock to find it with the sickle and everything. Was there anything unusual with the body when you found it?
What's interesting, she was turned a bit, so the head was on the west, but northwest.
Mm-hmm.
So the legs were like east-south a bit, which was not very typical.
The twisted spine, alongside telltale marks in the soil suggest this body did not rest in peace.
The soil's been disturbed, so it appears that this woman has been, in effect, buried twice. The first burial seems to have been with a padlock attached to her toe. There seems to have been an attempt at a second burial in which the grave has been disturbed, at least partially opened, and there's been an attempt to turn her over. Presumably it was an absolutely repugnant task. So she's been left lying on her back and a blade has been placed over her throat.
When Dariush turned his attention to the woman's skull, something caught his eye.
Something began to flash near the skull because it was such a sunny day. It was clear there was something precious.
Dariush suspected this was some kind of skull adornment, but it was too fragile to examine on site. Rather than risk damaging the precious find, the team cut the skull out of the earth whole and took it back to their lab to test it. The discovery of the sickle and padlock, together with the skull adornment, led Dariush and the team to believe the burial had ritualistic connotations.
She was a person who was not necessarily feared in life, but because of certain beliefs and superstitions, I think that maybe after death, she might have been a problem.
There were many local beliefs of different types of demons, different reasons why they could come back. So that's why there were these types of protection.
The padlock in particular is a vital clue to understanding what kind of demon the locals feared this woman was.
Originally, the burial contained this padlock, which was hung on the big toe of the left foot.
In Polish folklore, people who were feared were thought to have two souls.
The bad soul can go about causing mischief and destruction and visiting terror on individuals.
People believed padlocks would keep the good soul locked in the body and stop the bad one from acting out. If the bad soul was ever allowed to take over the body, it could become the most feared of all supernatural beings, a vampire. The belief was so entrenched, historical records reveal that graves were regularly reopened to check on the deceased.
It's hard to say what they wanted to do. Maybe they wanted to remove her remains from the grave. Perhaps they wanted to turn her to face the ground.
Dariush suspects that when the woman's grave was reopened, they found this padlock open, leading to fears that someone or something was trying to break out.
Imagine opening that grave and finding that the restraint,
We all have questions. Big questions.
Can I journey into the past?
It's part of what it means to be human.
Is time travel just science fiction?
My name is Stephen Hawking, and I believe that anyone can answer big questions for themselves. So with the help of some ordinary people, and a team of experts,
you can't get a place in the universe where gravity is stronger.
We are going on the ultimate voyage. A quest to answer the greatest mysteries of the universe, using the power of the human mind. Because anyone can think like a genius.
Can we time travel?
Time travel is one of my favorite ideas. Most of us have dreamt of visiting a different age. Perhaps a peek into our own future. Or to see a monumental event in history. For decades, time travel has proved irresistible to science fiction writers and Hollywood directors. But, can we work out if it is really possible to travel through time? I've asked 3 ordinary people to come on a journey of discovery. A series of puzzles and challenges await them. They'll be given equipment and instructions to help.
Wow! Nice.
Can they solve the mysteries and find the truth about time travel?
Can I travel in time?
I don't know. I don't know where to start.
I feel excited to contemplate the issue of time travel.
I'm gonna say no, but technology now, possibly in the future.
I don't know how or what the actual mechanics of it are, but I think it's possible.
Yes, I believe it is possible.
I've brought my volunteers to New York City. What better place to begin their quest than Times Square? I want to see if my team can grasp how science began to explore this elusive thing we call time. I've lined up a surprise.
Oh, look.
Hello, my budding geniuses. Welcome to New York. I hope you are ready for some fun.
I did not expect Stephen Hawking. It was awesome. It was a complete surprise and complete shock.
I was flabbergasted to see his face there.
I'd like you to come to a party. Using these 3 numbers, can you work out how to get there? Good luck.
48, 16, 11.
Can we make it to a party using those 3 digits? 48?
48, 16, 11.
Time to get thinking.
What do those numbers have
in common?
Yeah.
What comes in 3 numbers?
Triangle.
16, 11.
Length, distance, and width.
Can't think of a mathematical relation.
No. Could be like longitude and latitude.
Or is it street?
Good thinking.
Yeah.
Is there a 48th Street?
There is a 48th Street. 16th Avenue would put you into the Hudson.
So they stop there, do they? The numbers stop there?
Yeah, because there's a river. Also 48th Street, 11th Avenue, and maybe once we get to 48th and 11th, the 16 will present itself.
Yes. We can ponder it on the way.
Let's go.
I've asked the volunteers to make a video diary of their journey. They will need this later.
Hey Marisol, what are we up to?
We're gonna go to a party.
Normal. Party. We're on a mission.
We might be wrong, but we took that address be the one thing we could take action on.
All right.
In 1 mile, keep left onto I-295.
46.
This is 7th.
7th.
Made sense to follow the grid, like to follow the streets. We are 48, the first number.
The first digit.
Selfie, guys.
Selfie.
Where are we? 48, that's us. And there's a sign.
Now off to 11.
So, yeah, 11th is that way.
In half a mile, keep left onto I-295.
Hopefully, 48th and 11th was going to pan out. Or were we going to have to start all over? Here we go. 48th Street and 10th Avenue.
One more avenue to go. We were really hoping that we would come across
Keep
something.
left onto I-295.
Here we go. 11th and 48th, 48th and 11th.
Continue for 6 miles on I-295.
They're right about the intersection of 48th and 11th. But can they use the third number to get them to the party?
I don't see anything in particular. We got the 48, we got the 11. That just leaves 16.
First, just saw the building. Nothing was screaming 16, but it was just like a really tall building. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 16th floor? 16 floors. Had to be a level. Well, let's check it out. Yeah?
Yeah, let's check.
Let's do it.
Traveling through anything, be it space or New York City, means going from one place to another. Thanks to a genius who loved to lie in bed, science has a way to describe what this means.
In Europe in the first half of the 17th century, what became the scientific revolution began to gather pace as a new generation came along. Among their number was a Frenchman, René Descartes. He was esteemed in particular for his work in the study of nature, above all the mathematical study of nature. The story goes like this, that Descartes was a sickly child, and so he was allowed by an enlightened teacher to spend his mornings in bed. And indeed, Descartes found this so useful that he kept it up for the rest of his life. He found often his best thoughts came while he was in bed.
Descartes found inspiration in ordinary things. On one occasion, it was thought to be a common housefly.
One day, Descartes was in bed, and he was idly watching a fly up on the ceiling. And as the fly wanders around, it occurs to Descartes that with just two numbers, one to describe its position along a horizontal axis, another to describe its position along a vertical axis, he can capture mathematically the position of the fly at any given moment. So there's Descartes watching the fly up on the ceiling, and at a certain moment it drops down. Now on the ceiling, the fly needed just two numbers for its position to be uniquely described. When it drops down, it leaves two dimensions and enters into three dimensions. Now we need three numbers. And it turns out that anything can be positioned using just three numbers.
In this simple stroke of genius, Descartes laid the foundation for modern mathematical science.
And this insight becomes the germ, or what we now call the Cartesian coordinate system.
The Cartesian coordinate
In 2 miles, keep right to take the exit 6 for Re14 towards Plainfield Pike.
All right, 16th floor?
Yep, go for it.
That's the last of our coordinates.
It allows us to precisely pinpoint the location, which is what you need for a party.
Stephen Hawking, he was up there waiting for us.
Probably. That'd be a surprise. That'd be a party.
Would have been a party. Hi guys, we're here.
Well, we walk out onto the 16th floor, and there's a party.
Oh, wow!
It looks like we got the right spot. That had finished up some time ago.
There was a party.
There was a party,
It's
yeah.
over. We missed it.
It looks like they had a good time.
My initial feeling was one of massive disappointment to have missed what looked like it'd been a great tear-up.
In 1 mile, keep right to take the exit 6 for Re14 towards Plainfield Pike.
My invitation wasn't complete, so my volunteers have missed the party. Can they figure out why?
I'm sorry I had to go. How many pieces of information do you need to make it to a party?
How many pieces of information do you need to make it to a party?
48, 16, and 11.
So a point, so like an intersection, so
Yeah,
two numbers
48.
for the point.
That's in 2 dimensions, then your third dimension is...
In half a mile, keep right to take the exit 6 for Re14 towards Plainfield Pike.
That's 3 points of information, and the fourth piece of information would be in time. So you need 4 pieces of information.
And we only had 3.
The additional one being the 4th dimension, time.
Yes.
So time is a dimension that we're traveling through, but we don't really realize it because it's
Keep
always
right to take the exit 6 for Re14 towards Plainfield Pike.
All the information we needed.
This was some mean trick to play, but they're right.
In a quarter mile, keep right onto I-295.
But you need a 4th to describe an event. And that 4th is time.
It was more of a revelation than a disappointment.
Hey!
awesome.
We're used to what we can see, and you give me the
Keep right onto I-295.
because I can see it. Time is there working, but you're not aware of it. Things are always happening in that.
In half a mile, turn left onto Comstock Parkway.
Relay.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Congratulations.
To travel in time, we need to find a means of traveling through the 4th dimension. But what does this really mean? To help understand, I'm giving my volunteers a tough new challenge. In the next phase of their quest, to discover if time travel is possible, I hope the volunteers will grasp a
At
concept
the traffic light, turn left onto Comstock Parkway.
of the universe.
Mysterious?
If they can understand it, then they really will be thinking like a genius.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
In half a mile, turn left onto Situate Avenue, Re12.
And first, really, I wasn't sure what I'm looking at.
It's where we were.
Times Square.
And then we'll see the maps of New York.
They're all the same map, aren't they? Look, Broadway, Broadway, Broadway,
Different
different
times.
time. The maps were identical, save for the time.
This one says 50 minutes, 10 minutes, plus 20, plus 30, plus 40 minutes.
Each map covers the area of New York they traveled through to get to the party, and each represents a moment in time. The map on the light box is their start time in Times Square.
Norman, look, it's you, hair. That mine's far too pretty.
I have asked them to visualize their journey from Times Square to the party in both space and time. Let's see if they can get the purpose of this.
At the traffic light, turn left onto Situate Avenue, Re12.
That's the point in time, isn't it? Right. And we could put our positions on the maps where we were at that point in time.
7 maps, 7 figures for each of us, so it was pretty clear that each of us will represent a certain spot during the journey at a certain time.
Where do we start, guys?
In half a mile, turn right onto Holly Hill Lane.
43rd. We're going this way. You're on the...
Should we say we were 10 minutes later?
The camera was not just for selfies.
We're gonna go to a party.
Hopefully, it will come in handy.
We were able to plot where we were because we had the time signature on the video. Do you see the street sign?
So at 10 minutes, we got to 46th Street. Let's do it.
You take your time on.
It just kind of seemed natural to stack the glass grids of Manhattan into layers and to place us in each time label that was on each table. All right, then the next.
In 2 miles, turn right onto Pippin Orchard Road. At the traffic light, turn right onto Pippin Orchard Road, then in 150 feet make a U-turn. In 150 feet make a U-turn on Pippin Orchard Road. Turn right onto Beechwood Drive. In half a mile turn left to enter a private road. Turn left to enter a private road. North on Beechwood Drive for a mile. Head south on a driveway, then in 150 feet turn right onto Beechwood Drive. In half a mile turn left onto Pippin Orchard Road. At the stop sign, turn left onto Pippin Orchard Road. Quarter mile keep left to stay on Pippin Orchard Road. In 100 feet, make a hard right turn onto Situate Avenue, 312. Turn right onto Castleton Drive. Feet, turn left onto Derbyshire Drive. Feet, turn left onto Peveril Road. Stop sign, turn left onto Peveril Road. Half a mile, turn right onto South Comstock Parkway. At the stop sign, turn right onto South Comstock Parkway. Feet, turn right onto Tomahawk Trail. Turn right onto Tomahawk Trail. In 800 feet, turn right onto Agawam Trail. Turn right onto Agawam Trail, then in 250 feet, turn left. In 250 feet, turn left onto Canonchek Trail. 100 feet, arrive at the destination on your right, 88 Canonchek TRL. Arrive at the destination on your right, 88 Canonchet TRL. Head southeast on Canonchet Trail, then in 150 feet turn left onto Twin Birch Drive. .250 feet turn left onto Tomahawk Trail. In 100 feet turn right onto Indian Trail. Turn right onto Iroquois Trail. Quarter mile turn right onto South Comstock Parkway. Stop sign. Turn right onto South Comstock Parkway. In a quarter mile turn left onto Road Drive. Turn left onto Road Drive. .900 feet arrive at the destination on your left, 70 Road Drive. Arrive at the destination on your left, 70 Road Drive. Monroe Drive, then in 900 feet turn left onto only Arnold Road. At the stop sign, turn left onto only Arnold Road. In 3/4 of a mile, make a hard right turn onto Phoenix Avenue. Stop sign, make a hard right turn onto Phoenix Avenue. In 1/2 mile, keep right onto Hope Road. Stop sign, keep right onto Hope Road. Quarter mile, turn left onto Camden Lane.
Problem is that this time you feel like everybody has high beams on. Like all the lights look very bright in your eyes. It's burning. It's blinding lights. This is gonna be stop number 6. Let's see what this looks like. This looks like it's a complex. They have skeletons and they still have pumpkins for Halloween all over the place. It's gonna be stop number 6. Not as creepy as I thought this was gonna be. So far doing so good. Seen one fox running across the street, a bunch of bunnies. Still safe though. Haven't been barked at by a dog. Usually my problem around this time is dogs. Dogs will be barking at you all over the place. But at least today seems to be good. This is gonna be stop number 6. Let's pull in here. Let's see if they have a driveway. Yeah, they have a little bit of a driveway. I'm gonna pull in it. And I'm gonna leave the car right here. They have a garage, so I gotta go around the car. 1 second. I usually put on my blinkers when I go in people's driveways. It doesn't matter what time it is. Let me drop this off numbers.
Head west on Camden Lane, then in 100 feet turn right onto Camden Lane.
So we're in luck. Package number 7 seems to be just a minute away. 1 minute away. I love those ones. They usually cut down my delivery time by a lot. It's just a minute away. If you get a few of those, say if you have 50 drop-offs and you have maybe 5 of them or 10 of them a minute away, those will save you a lot of time. So this seems to be in this complex just down the street where we came from.
20 Camden Lane.
Awesome. Just a minute away. I love those. And doing this at 3 in the morning gets a little bit creepy.
Destination on your right, 20 Camden Lane.
But you have to stay focused. Yeah, but as I said, it's mostly the problem is the dogs barking at you at this time. But if you get to deliver in a place like this where you don't have to pull so much into people's driveways, then it's even better. So let's drop this off. This is package number 7. Alright, so that was package number 7. We headed to stop number 8. Let me see how far that is. That's about just 3 minutes away from here. So a little bit farther than that was. But yeah, let's go ahead and try to bang this out. So it's now 5:39. Yeah, I seem to be good on time so far, because I want to bang as much out as possible. So my shift is supposed to end at 8, but I want to make sure by 8 I'm back in Massachusetts all the way. If you're starting to do this, it gets out of whack real fast, real quick, because today I started in South Massachusetts and all of a sudden ended up in Cranston, Rhode Island. So they could take you interstate real fast when you're doing Amazon Flex. Yeah, this was what, 50 miles away from the station. And you have to consider I had to drive to the station because I don't live at the station. So you could end up interstate real fast. Real fast. Also at a creepy time. One thing I like about deliveries at this time, early in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, is that the traffic is always good. The traffic is always good. There's no people who are on the road who are not supposed to be on the road, you know. So it makes it a lot easier because the traffic is not much, so you can zoom through as fast as you can. And it's just a fulfillment knowing that by 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, you've had some work done. This shift is supposed to be 4 hours, and it's $125, so not bad. But when you consider this much mileage put on it, 49 miles away from the station, and then going back into the station going back up into Massachusetts is going to take me another 50 miles. So that's 100 miles just to go and going back to your house, not factoring in the mileage that you're going to drive in between dropping off packages. So you have to be a mileage guzzler. The mileage it's gonna put a toll on your car. That is for sure. That is for sure. Let me see. Let's take a left here.
Turn left to stay on Meadowlark Drive.
I wonder sometimes what people think when we're zooming through at this time of the morning or whatever you want to call it. It looks night to me. What they think if they see notifications that somebody's actually approaching your house and somebody's actually dropping off stuff at your house at this time of the night. I don't know what they think. Anyways, this is stop number 8. Hang on a second, I better scan this and I'll be right back. This is stop number 8.
Northeast on Meadowlark Drive. Then in 150 feet, turn right to stay on Meadowlark
So stop
Drive.
number 9 is apparently farther away. It's gonna be 8 minutes away. 8 minutes away. That's about 2.7 miles. Ugh. I hate those ones. As soon as the stop goes above 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it seems to be a menace. So this is almost 3 miles away, 8 minutes. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Turn right onto Cardinal Road. Then in
You rack up mileage real quick, real fast. And if you're not serious, you could even run out of fuel. At this time of night, it's better to like this, which I did. And if you're in strange waters like now, you're in a totally different state, then things get to be even more interesting because you're not in your state. Like right now, we're in Rhode Island. So at 6 in the morning, you're in Rhode Island. I started work at 3, so it means you had to get up at a little before 3. Thank God for me, the station is close to my house. So I drive less than 15 minutes to go to the station. So which means if I have to work at 4 in the morning, it means I have to get up at 3:30. So 3:30, and then you have maybe 15 minutes to brush your teeth, and then about 10-15 minutes I'll be at the station. And then one thing that Amazon does, they'll give you a 5-minute bonus. So it means if you're supposed to be starting work at 4, you could be at the station check-in at 4:05. if you go past 04, 405, then they cancel that order. You cannot be able to go out because you missed your order by 5 minutes. They give you 5 minutes grace period. That's what I'm trying to say here.
At the stop sign, turn left to stay on Phoenix
But
Avenue.
thank God for me, the station is close to my house, so I have about 10 to 15 minutes drive to get to the station. But yeah, I was saying, if you have a early morning one like this one, you really have to know you have gasoline in the car. Otherwise, some gas stations, I actually did not know that, but some gas stations will not be open at 5. They will not serve you gas. Yeah, so you have to really have gasoline in your car. Otherwise, you end up getting stranded. I actually posted a video on this account where I was doing the gas challenge. For some reason, I got entangled in it. I went to a gas station. This was like what, 3 in the morning, and it's a Circle K close to the Amazon place, and they had no gasoline. For some reason, all the pumps were down, and I was 3 miles down. I literally jumped on the highway less than 2 miles, and thank God I know a gas station 24 southbound that by the time I got there, I literally had 1 mile on my tank, and thank God it did not run out. It did not run out. I barely I posted that video on here. I made a little clip of it, like you on the highway and you have 1 mile in your gas tank left. It was ridiculous. It's the adrenaline rush you get in there. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, but one of the questions that I get a lot is that if I feel safe delivering packages at this time. You can never be so sure. You can never be so safe. It does not matter what time it is in the day. If it's daytime, actually I've had more problems during daytime than nighttime. I really have. One time, mostly confrontations. I've gotten confronted like 4 times now, where people just walk up to you and say, hey, why would you do that? Why would you so I'll tell you about these stories. The first guy who confronted me was in the middle of the winter, and there was snow all over the place, and the directions I had in the applications were saying put the package on the garage door. Now the garage door had 5 feet of snow on it. It was too much snow. It was almost in the middle of January, where we have so much snow here in New England. And I said, you know what, I'm not placing this where there's this much snow. So I walked around the house to go to the front porch, and this guy confronted me, was yelling obscenities at me, because why are you walking on my stuff? I say, you want me to leave this package that is in a not even in a weather bag in the middle of the snow like that? So you know what, I just walked away and just threw it on the snow. The second time I got confronted, I got into this guy's driveway. I'm trying to deliver the package. He was walking on some shit on the porch, and he had a dog loose, a very big retriever. So the dog came running at me, dashed right at me. And this guy was yelling at me, why are you coming in the driveway? I'm like, bro, I'm just delivering for Amazon. You have orders in here to leave your package at the front door. So what do you want me to do? It's like, just get out of my driveway, leave it by the mailbox. I'm like, we actually don't even use mailboxes. Actually, we're not supposed to use mailboxes. That is supposed to be for the postal services, not Amazon. And so that is the second time I got confronted. The third time I got confronted, I remember all this, like, you will never forget this if it happens to you. This was a duplex. They have 2 driveways on each side, and I pulled in on the other side, but when the actual number that I was delivering to was on the other side, kind of like this situation we're in here. You see this? Like you pull in here, but you're supposed to be delivering, say, to the right house, and you're on the left house, and the woman came out like this was a Karen. She's like, why are you on my side of the thief? You're delivering on that. I'm like, bro, I just looked at it. I did not know it was going to be on the other side of the house. Anyways, this is stop number 9. Let me drop this off and come back with more stories.
In 600 feet, turn right onto 5 Street.
Alright, we headed for stop number 10. It's 5 minutes away. It's 5 minutes away. Wow, these buses start work early. Rhode Island public transportation buses. I did not know that would be. This is actually different. Alright, so let's go here. What was I talking about? I was talking about a Karen that I pulled into a duplex, and she was fighting me because I was parking at the wrong side of the house.
Turn right onto 5 Street.
So every once in a while you're gonna get confronted. You're really going to get confronted. And oh, there's emergency vehicles over there. I wonder what's happening. Thank God I'm not going that way. Gotta take a right here. This is stop number 10. It's about 5 miles away. I mean 5 minutes away, 1.7 miles. Yeah, so when it comes to my safety when I'm doing this, especially around this time, I will not, like, I'm not even kidding, I walk around with pocket knives like all over me. That's my first line of, you know, safety first. So I've got them. I got pepper spray on my key and all that stuff. So in case of anything, that's my kind of my first line of action. And I have to be vigilant at all times, because this is not a straight cut, especially if you're walking at this time of the night. It's about to be 6 now, but it's still dark because we're entering in this late fall. But even then, I was saying that most of the scenarios that I've had happen to me when it comes to safety have happened during daytime, not nighttime. I haven't been chased by a dog during nighttime, but I've been chased by dogs during daytime. I haven't been confronted by people during nighttime, but I've been confronted by people during daytime. So you will be surprised that for your safety, most of the stuff actually will happen to you during daytime, because nighttime most of the people are sleeping. It's just creepy that, you know, you're in somebody's driveway at 3 in the morning, or some places they send you are really just gonna be straight up creepy. Really, some people don't know how to maintain their houses or to just have a homely, welcome kind of vibes around their houses. And the other also big problem is labeling of the houses. Some people have nothing on their house that shows this is our house. Like, they have no number on it. Others have mailboxes across the street. You have to park and figure it out what side of the street you're on, which that is okay. I've done enough of that so I can always figure that out. But people need to really label their houses, and they need to put visible numbers on them that show the number of the house. It's very important. And also, people have houses that have no safe area at all, especially during the bad weather like rain or snow. They don't have anywhere safe to leave any of their packages. Like, some of the houses have nothing like a front porch where you could place packages. It's just flat. And I don't know if people put that into consideration at all, but they need to. Like, literally, you just go there, it's in the middle of the rain, you can't see even anywhere in the house to wedge the package so it doesn't get wet. And then we get blamed for things like that. My worst place to deliver to and worst time is always downtown Boston. I can't. I really can't. I hate downtown. I hate downtown Boston, especially if you end up going there daytime. If you want to be successful doing a Boston run, you want to deliver early morning, like around this time in the middle of Boston, is actually good, because most of the places, especially if they send you at the seaport area, are going to have concierge 24 hours 7. So no matter what the building looks like, you're going to go there and there's going to be a doorman that is going to help either take the mail away from you or direct you where you're supposed to be putting the packages. Or else you want to do Boston late night-ish. So you want to do Boston early evening, say we're gonna say starting at 7 to 10. Still Boston will be doable, but the worst time, bro, it doesn't matter if it's 8 in the morning, it doesn't matter if 5. You don't want to do Boston daytime. And the worst part is we never know where we're going to get sent. You just show up at the station and you don't know where you're going to end up. So we don't choose where we're sent. All right, so this is stop number, let me see, this is supposed to be stop number 11. Hold on, I can't find my package. Actually, it's stop number 10, not 11. That's why I messed up. So you see that a person's house like that, easy to get to. It has a front porch with a lot of safe area to put packages. As soon as you approach the house, lights go on. That's where I want to deliver. And it's in a cul-de-sac where it feels safe as hell. But some people's creepy places have no safe areas to leave packages at, or and there is some places that are plain straight up creepy. Like if they ever take you to Plymouth, Massachusetts, some of the roads are even dirt roads. They're dirt roads, and you'll be going in the like down a street. It will just tell you to go down a street that doesn't even look like it exists. It feels like you just have to forge it. However long you're just forging it, has no street lights. It gets to be so creepy. It's really, really creepy. One thing that I'm hopeful and thankful for these days is that they don't send us from southern Massachusetts this way all the way to the west in Worcester. Now they opened one branch out there. It's called Westboro. And but before, you would get stuff from here and they send you far west. I used to hate to go to Worcester. And whenever I would see my packages are sending me to Worcester, I'd be like, oh man, I just hate driving in that town or that city. It's just plain straight up bad. The roads are all twisted. The people are rough. The traffic is asinine. There's only 2 good ways to go in. It's just, there is some places that we hate going to. And I really wish that Amazon Flex gave us a little bit more control of where we go. Like if you were delivering, if you would choose an area that I actually want to deliver to this area, because it doesn't make any sense. For example, there's people who come from Rhode Island and they come to my station in Bridgewater, which is southern Massachusetts, to pick up stuff. Now, those people end up getting sent into Boston, right? Or up north, you know, Quincy area, whatever. They get sent up into Massachusetts, and they came from Rhode Island, and they get me who came from Massachusetts and send me deep in Rhode Island like they did for this one. This is Princeton, Warwick, Rhode Island. So, and they have all our information in there. They know where we come from and where we're going. It would be just making such sense for you to send, say, drivers who are coming from Rhode Island, send them back into Rhode Island, let them deliver in places that, first of all, they're familiar with, second of all, that is close to their houses, you know. But they will take you out of your work, total opposite direction. Farthest places I've delivered to Greenwich, Warwick. That is far. It is, if you drive straight 95 south from east-west Greenwich, you could be in Connecticut in about what? In about 25 minutes. So almost tri-state. Like they send you through one state to go to the other. I've delivered as far as Worcester, Fitchburg, all the way from Bridgewater, Massachusetts. So you could draw tangents and they send you 60 miles away. 60 miles away from your house. Ooh, emergency vehicles here too. Huh? Well, they're not on the road, so most of the times we don't have to be worried about those ones. They're called into people's houses. When you see emergency vehicles on the road at this time, yeah, definitely something is happening. But yeah, as I mentioned, most of the people who are on the road at this time are on the road because they're supposed to be on the road. They're either going to work. There's no leisure driving at this time on the road. That's why if you like traffic, then you're gonna love traffic around this time. It's gonna be a lot, you know, drivable. For starters, it's going to be kind of empty. Like you see right now, there's nobody else on the road but me. And second, the people who are on the road are supposed to be on the road. They're kind of sober. They're supposed to be driving either to work or whatever. It's important missions. But if you drive in times where people are driving for leisure, then you have a problem, because you're gonna have a lot of asinine drivers on the road. So this is our next stop right here. This is stop number 11. And today I don't have a lot of packages. I have 25 packages. This is number 11. I'll be right back. Give me a minute. There we go. Soap number 12 seems to be a good one. It's just a minute down the street. So we're just gonna continue with this. And in just a minute we'll have 12 gone. So that's almost halfway of this shift, because we have 25, and if 11 are gone, then we have almost halfway. So the way I usually stack my packages in the car is I make sure the first 20, if I have more than 30, I make sure the first 20 are in the front seat. And thank God sometimes the packages are small. That's actually not the house, it's gonna be the next house. The packages are just small. You see, that's an Uber driver. That's an Uber driver that just went the opposite direction. So at this time of the night or in the morning, people who are on the road are supposed to be on the road. They're going to be sober driving. Hold on a second, let me come back. All right, the next stop is 3 minutes away. Yeah, I love parking on the side of the street like this for a little bit and not going into people's driveways whenever I can. I just figured out Americans don't like people driving in their driveways. Just like that. They beautify their driveways just for their cars, not for you, not for everybody else to go in there. Even though I'm not driving a regular delivery truck, I'm just driving my little ass car, they still don't want it in their driveway. So you have to be very vigilant about that. Whenever you can park on the side of the road, it's more advisable than, you know, running up somebody's driveway. I was talking about how I stack my packages. So if I have more than 20 packages, I make sure that I have the first 20 in the front seat here, in the co-driver's seat. And most of the times, because of the packaging, it's actually possible. There could be smaller packages, especially if there's not, you know, bulky water, whatever the hell it is, cat litter. You could stack them in the front seat with number 20 down all the way on the feet of the co-driver, and then, you know, number 2 up this way. It helps me because usually when I hit the 20s, the most packages I've done were 59. So, you know, when you hit 20 packages, you're kind of midway your shift. It gives you a certain kind of good feeling that you're actually handling this. And the when you're done with the 20 and you're moving the next 20 over, you feel some kind of accomplishment. You feel like you're doing it at that point. So that's what I do. I stack the first 20 here in the front co-driver's seat, and then the next, well, I have a small Kia Soul car. So what happens is in the back, I break the seats or fold the seats or whatever you want to call it, and then drop packages in heaps of 10s. So say if I have 20 in the front here, then I'll have 21 through 30 on one side, and then I'll have 30 to 40 on the other side. Usually I have about 40 packages. So I know when I finish this 20, I'm past mid-mark, and then I just drop another 10 in the front seat, and that way I'll be able to just go through the next 20. So this is stop number 13, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, stop number 13. And hang on a second, I'll be right back in a minute. Yeah, that was creepy. I just had an owl hoot. Ugh, I hate owls. Like when you hear that, if you don't know how an owl sounds when it hoots, look it up. It's the most creepy noise you could ever hear on the planet Earth. It goes ooh, ooh, and I heard it. And in my African culture, owls are associated with a lot of things, not good things, definitely. Very bad things. You don't want to hear that shit hooting close to your house, especially in the middle of the night. We have associations to them that is not a good thing. Halloween is gone. Thank God. That creepy shit. You be dropping off people's stuff on their doorway, and then those old zombies or whatever skeletons are yelling out and laughing and all those. Sometimes they can creep you out because you're not prepared for it. But thank God Halloween is gone, so we don't have to have those creepy decorations around. They're still all over the place, but they will be gone in a few. They get to you sometimes. This is a Prius in front of me, so that's a person on a mission. If they're not delivering for Amazon, they're probably Uber drivers at this time. So you know a car in front of you has a sober driver in it. Yeah, that's a wild car. But yeah, so Halloween is funny story. You know those 7 feet tall skeletons and whatever the hell it is, werewolves. I saw a guy walk. This was the funniest thing in the entire universe. I was in Bridgewater, Mass, and I saw a guy walking a dog. So the dog was going by this stupid skeleton on somebody's lawn, and the skeleton started laughing. Ha ha ha! Enter if you dare. Wait, I was delivering that too. The dog was freaking out. He was barking at this thing, going around it, barking at it, going around it. And the guy, it literally went out of control, that the guy who was walking the dog could not literally control his dog. It started running up against this stupid skeleton, barking at it, and the skeleton just kept laughing. But the dog was literally at war with it. Like, I could not keep a straight face. I thought it was the funniest shit ever. It was a small-ish dog, but it was barking at that skeleton back and forth, like it was waging war at it. And all the skeleton was doing is laughing at him. I thought it was funny. And of course, that Halloween evening, I was still delivering, and it was a stampede in the roads. People were all over the place collecting up candy and shit. And you're delivering, so you have to navigate all that traffic and, you know, manipulate around people. It gets to be asinine the way people believe in Halloween. And of course, I had to leave a little bit of time to whoa, that's a Carmax area. I did not see that. I didn't know one existed here. Well, if you do this, because let me see, I've been doing Uber, I've been doing Amazon Flex. This is my I'm about to be 2.5 years, but I've been doing Uber. It's about to be 5 years now. Yeah, it's about to be actually 5.5, 6 years I've been doing Uber. So after some time, everything seems to blend together. They all seem, everywhere you go, you seem to almost be in the, you seem to know things on the road everywhere you go. Like everything starts to blend in together because it's the same areas you're gonna be walking over and over and over again. And the biggest surprise is that it is the same people who use these services. It is the same people who use Uber Eats. It's the same people who use DoorDash. It is the same people who use Amazon. It's the same people who use Uber. It is all the same people. You'll be, what, 60, 70 miles away from your house, and the same house that you actually delivered Uber Eats to is going to be the same house you're delivering Amazon to. Boom, same name. It's the same freaking person. Well, actually, you know what? Let me do this. I need gas. I need gasoline. So I gotta go here. I gotta go here. That guy is not wanting to go. I gotta figure out a way of getting gasoline here. It's gonna take me around a little bit. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I can go in that way. So let's grab some gasoline. I made a terrible mistake this time. Left the car. I knew I had a morning shift, and I just didn't get gas in the evening. Maybe because we were busy taking the kids around. So let's grab some gas. Oof, I just hate it. This Cumberland is goddamn expensive. In my town, I'd be getting gasoline for $2 something, but this is what, $3? Sheesh. They're getting away with murder here. I literally have both their hands in my pocket. This is another thing that will get to you real quick. quick if you're doing this. The gasoline problem. Alright. We're gonna grab regular gas here. Yeah, gasoline will get you in just a minute. They have it at $3. God damn. I'll be getting this for $2.60. I hate this. Rhode Island, they don't have this hook here where you can just put this and leave it to refill by itself. That's also awesome, man. So laws change while you go around, but why not have that little hook that I actually put so the pump can work on itself? They take it off for some reason. They are freaking expensive gasoline for $3. Yeah. There needs to be some kind of standardization, because even Cumberland in my state sells this for what? For $2.70 now. Those guys have it up $3. Look, $3. It's too much. And on top of it being expensive, you even take the large away, so I have to hold on to this thing even when it's freaking cold. Ugh. There's a good $37 I just threw down the drain. So that's the thing too. If you're doing this job, oh my God, they need to do something, because these companies need to be kind of responsible to start giving us a few packs, like give us some gasoline or something. But they got the upper hand, so they can make us do whatever they want, and we just dance to their tunes. We just end up dancing to their tunes. I just wish they would give us maybe a gas card or something, so we can have a few packs, or give us a discount. Say, oh, if you are an Amazon Flex driver, then you get to have a code that you could just present at the gas station, and they give you a little bit of a discount on gas. But god damn. And you see, because I didn't plan it well, I went to sleep. I knew I had a very early morning shift, and I still did not put gasoline in the car. So I ended up being wrecked with that, because that is $3 a gallon when I could have gotten it for $2.70 or $2.60 in my town. But because I didn't plan it out well. So what the hell is this? They're bringing me to... Okay, this is weird. So where are you guys watching from? I know I cannot read comments while I drive. I can't know where you guys are watching from, but can you let me know? Just type in the chat section to let me know where you guys are watching from if you're listening to me rambling and going on about driving for Amazon Flex and Uber and all that crap. And you can also ask a question, because this is a stop go motion thing we're doing here. So when I get out of the car to go do a quick drop off, because we're doing Amazon Flex today, I could read a question. So if there's anything that you want to know, you can ask me, and if I can answer it, then I'll be at your service. I'll be glad to either talk about it or to give you a straight answer to your question. Anything that you want to know, anything that you want to know that of course I can have an answer to, then I'll let you know. I have a little bit of an experience driving for Uber. I have a little bit of an experience driving for DoorDash, Amazon Flex. I have an experience driving for Lyft. I've done all these gig works. So you can ask me anything. You can ask me anything about those services if you want to know. Or if you're just a rider, you're not a driver, you're somebody who orders from Uber Eats, you're somebody who orders from DoorDash, or you actually somebody who orders from Amazon, which we're doing right now, you could still ask me a question and I'll give you our point of view on this site. Anything that you may ask. This is drop off number 14. Oh, there they go. They have a mail room. Let's see if we can get into it. Hold on a second. Let me see if we can get into this mail room. Drop off number 14. They have a one-click button. I'll be right back. So they have directives. If it's after hours, you just leave it on the front of the leasing office and they'll take care of it. And they will take care of it. So no questions? Nobody has popped a question for me yet? Alright, I'll talk about the locks then. Like you see what we just delivered. Amazon has this kind of technology that they think that they're using. When you get close to a magnetic door like that, they have a little thing on it. They could give you a one key entry and it will be in the phone. So when you get to it, hold on. Sorry about that. So what happens is if you get to that door, they will have a prompt in your phone that will have one click, and you'll click on it and the door will just open. The door will just open. So that's pretty handy when it works, when it wants to work. It uses Bluetooth. If it does not work, then you're in trouble, because each door you go to and you click on it, then the door may cease to open. And sometimes the leasing officers and building managers, they give us a magnetic key that doesn't work. So you get there, you press the button on your phone and it doesn't work. And you have to figure it out. They're usually lifesaver people walking by and they'll help you in. If it's a weird time like right now where there's no people walking in, then you have to start calling customers. It gets to be frustrating a little bit, especially town areas. If it's residential areas, then you're in luck because most of the houses just have, you just place the packages there, you know, on their front porch and walk away. But if it's wait a minute, what the hell is this guy doing? There's a guy who's trying to place the car in cones. Okay, whatever the hell he's doing. And stories like that on the road, I have a bajillion stories on the road. I've seen it all. I've seen people commit crimes around or in their cars. I've seen people in parking lots doing weird shit. I've literally, but you know what actually is creepy? I'm gonna say this. I hope YouTube can stand this. I've really seen people do weird stuff in their cars, in the driveways, in their own drives. I don't know, bro. If you're in your house at that point, why the hell are you doing it in the driveway in the car? Like, I don't get it. But this is the most common thing that I've seen that you people might not even realize it actually happens. But people do it, if you know what I mean, it in their cars, in the driveways. It's very common. I don't know if they're with their spouses or partners, but it's just creepy. It is literally creepy. I've seen it more than 10 times. I've literally walked up to cars more than 10 times in the driveways and people are busy, if you know what I mean. Like, I've seen it happen more than 10 times. You just walk up to a car, it's parked in the driveway. I don't know if they're with their spouses or they're with whoever the hell it is, but you walk up to a car and people are literally doing it in the driveway. It is very common. I've seen it happen more than 10 times. Like, literally, it's not even funny. I don't know if it's a cheating thing, that they'll be cheating with somebody before they go into the house or whatever the hell it is, but I've seen people get busy in their cars. It's very common. It is very common in the driveways too. Live along these you find on the side of the street or whatever the hell it is. Those are way more than 10 times I've found people doing that. As a matter of fact, one time I was driving by the shopping mall in a town which I'm not gonna mention, and I saw people busy in the middle of, it was kind of actually even freezing temperature. And how I saw it is, it's cold, so the cars are foggy in their glasses and they're literally busy. I'm like, do these people realize what the hell is happening? And it's not even very late. It's about 9 p.m. I'm like, these people are gonna get arrested because I'm not the only one who can see them. And funny, I drove by again when I was coming back from dropping off the package, and they were being arrested out of the car, and the girl had no shoes on, and it was just an embarrassing case. But I've seen a bunch of those. The one that I did not expect is people in their driveways that I did not expect to see that happen. It's the most common thing. It is the most common thing. I've seen that more than 10 times. What else? Funny stories on this? I've seen people drive into wrong sides of the road. 1 second. This is stop number 15. I'll be right back. This is an easy one. All right, so that was number 15. It was an easy one. We've got number 16, just a minute away. Ooh, I love those. I really do love those. It gives me just a minute away. That's gonna be stop number 16, and we have 25, so we're doing pretty good. And it's about to be 7. It's 6:33 in the morning here at the East Coast. 6:33 in the morning. So our shift is supposed to end at 8, and I believe by 8 we will have finished it. Oh, sorry, I gotta get that belt. Thank God for the reminder, because sometimes I forget it, which is very important. Because for the close to 6 years I've been doing this, I've learned that when you call the insurance, the number one question is they're gonna ask you, did you have your seatbelt on? And now at that point you can lie or not, depending on what cameras you have in the car. So it's just a safety thing that you always have to have it on. And Uber driving, Amazon Flex driving, whatever the hell it is, I don't care. DoorDash, I will always have cameras in my car. And I learned that pretty early on in this business, that you have to have a dashboard camera that is recording whatever is going on outside the car. Thank God now for Uber, if you're driving passengers and you're not doing Uber Eats, they have a record button. So you can record audio of what is happening inside the car through the application. So in case of anything, because people used to always accuse us of everything in the world. 1 second, let me do stop number 16, and I'll come back and talk about cameras in the car. All right, so where are we? I gotta turn around. The next stop is a minute away too. It looks like I'm in luck here. Everything seems to be closed, so that is pretty good. And I fell for that stupidity. Since there's no cars in the road, I could do all the tangents that I want and head over this way. But yeah, I was talking about cameras in the car. So the Uber application is good because now it allows both the passenger and the driver to record audio, not visuals, but audio of what is happening in the car. And that actually is usable. So in case a passenger claims that you did or said or insulted them or whatever the hell it is on both sides, that audio could be pulled. So it is to get people responsible, both the drivers to behave themselves and the riders to behave themselves. So that's why they have the record button in the application on the Uber app. But I don't care about that. I always have my own devices in the car. I have a camera and I have a notice that I have cameras recording both visuals and audios. Now, every driver, I don't care what company you're driving for your insurance purposes, first of all, you have to have a dashboard camera to begin with. That is a must. I don't know how people go rogue and they just deliver for Amazon or drive Uber or DoorDash, whatever the hell it is, without dashboard cameras. I don't know what kind of hearts you guys have, but everybody needs to have one of them. So this is stop number 17. I'll be back in a jiffy. That was stop 17. We have stop 18, all in order. Just reposition my packages here a bit, all in the front seat. Yeah, so I was saying about cameras in the car. You need one. At least you need a dashboard camera for a lot of things, for insurance and for your peace of mind. You need one. And there's also another thing that you have to know is that if you have a camera in your car, subconsciously it will help you to control yourself. It'll help you to control the speed you're driving. It'll help you to control the maneuvers you're making on the road, even if you're driving people or even if you're driving packages. Just like today, I'm driving packages for Amazon Flex. It will help you to control even yourself, because believe it or not, if you live at the East Coast, you know about road rage, you know about how erratic drivers drive, and you know how they can get you in a bit. And so if you have a camera in your car recording what the hell is happening, then even yourself, you will control yourself, because you'll know everything is on camera and you want to be on the right side of everything when shit goes down. So that way you will know how to control yourself, just for your peace of mind. It's a good thing to always have a dashboard camera. And these things are cheap. You literally could get a dashboard camera for less than $20 now, and it will be working perfectly fine. All right, I'll be right back. This is stop number 18. I'll be right back. Give me a minute. All right, yellow. Good morning. It's 6:40. Our shift is supposed to end at 8. Thanks to everyone who's here with me, who's helped me talk to you guys, and helping me not feel so creepy from where we started at 3:30 in the morning. Up to now, it's 6:40, so the sun is rising, and we're supposed to finish this at 8. Hopefully I'll be done with all my packages by 8, so now I can start trekking back into Massachusetts. But it's gonna take, where I am right now, I'm in Cranston, Rhode Island, but it's gonna take me about 45 minutes, and I'll be boom back where I belong. Let me see this. Now drivers in Rhode Island are a little bit of a different animal. For some reason, I figured it out. When they see you driving with a Massachusetts plate, especially if you're deep into Rhode Island, when they see that you're driving with a Massachusetts plate, for some reason, everybody will treat you a little bit different. Everybody will treat you a little bit different. They will try to cut you off, run up against you, and stuff like that. For some reason, they know Massachusetts drivers are crazy, so they'll try to do some weird. And I always just let them do whatever the hell they want, because I know what I'm going for here, and I don't want to be caught up in anything stupid anyways. That being said, it also happens when you have the Uber stickers on the car. Like, it's not even funny. You're driving the same car, right? you have Uber stickers on it, drivers will treat you different on the road than when you're driving this sticker. So for some reason, when other drivers on the road see that you're an Uber driver, they try to cut you off. They won't let you go in, whatever the hell it is. They won't be nice to you in general terms. But if you're driving the same exact car, even if you're driving for Uber or not, but you don't have the stickers on, then drivers will treat you differently. I don't know what that is all about. People just hate Uber drivers. I'll be right back. This is package number 19. All right, we're ready for package number 20. So 20, 21. So we're ready for package number 20. It's a very, very big mark. Whenever I'm walking, I know package 20 is either halfway mark or like for today, it's gonna be close to finish because we have 25 packages. So package number 20 is always important in whatever trip you're doing. The most I have done, I think I've done 57 packages. That was, I think the most I've done, 57. And the least I've done was 2 packages. One time I showed up at this station in Bellingham, Mass, and I had a 3-hour shift, and they had only 2 packages for me. And they were bringing me back to my hometown all the way from Bellingham. So the 3-hour shift ended up being like what? Like drive to the station and drive back home. Every once in a while you get lucky like that. But the luckiest, you guys are gonna like this. The luckiest you could ever get driving for Amazon Flex is showing up and you sign in and the time counts down to 30 minutes before you get your route. Oh my gosh, they literally send you home. They send you back home. It's like showing up for school and they say, oh, you know what, there's no school today, you guys can go back home. But with pay, if you literally show up on time and you manage to go through the sign-in process, and for some reason they don't have routes to send you out, they will send you back home with your total pay for the shift that you had signed up for. They call them blocks. For the block you had signed up for. That is the most fantastic thing that ever happens. And every once in a while it happens. I don't know, before there were some kids on the station that you would see trying to scheme it. I think they knew something that I did not know. I would show up and then a lot of people are waiting at a certain time to sign in. They all sign in at the same time and then a bunch of them get sent home, but I never caught up on what trick they're using or how they're getting sent back home. I never caught up on that. But every once in a while you get sent back home. Even for longer shifts, like 5-hour shifts, you could get a chance and you get sent back home and you get paid for it. All right, 1 second, guys. I'll be back. This is stop number 20. All right, we did good. We finished 20 stops before 7. So that's good. That's pretty good. So we have 5 packages left, and hopefully we can finish these. I don't know if we can finish them before 7. The next one is 2 minutes away. But if we can finish them even before 7, that would be a great thing, because driving back into Massachusetts is going to take us about 40 minutes. So we will be able to make it home at 8 at the beginning, at the end mark of our shift, because our shift was supposed to start at 4 in the morning to 8. So that is a 4-hour shift. 4-hour shift for $112. For $112. So it's still minimum wage. Gasoline. You saw we stopped and had gasoline, and they repped us because here in Rhode Island the gasoline is $3 at a Cumberland farm. The mileage on the car, I'll tell you, the mileage on the car is the craziest thing that ever happens. Like your car will rack up mileage real quick. I'm driving a 2022 model car, and I got it brand new with almost 0 miles on it. But in only 2 years, we had 116,000 miles. So be ready to put 50,000 plus miles on the car every year. 50,000 plus miles on the car every year. So you will go through cars like crazy when you're doing this job. Stop sign. Let's take a left here. Almost done. And you can see now bright and early. I don't know how my camera is presenting there, but you can see the sun is starting to come out. So it's starting to be lights out. We started pitch black. It was pitch black when we started this shift. And this is package number 21. I'll be right back in a minute. There we go. So that was package number 21. We have 4 packages left. And this next one is just a minute away. I love those ones. Those ones always make my life so easy. If you have a minute away package, especially at a time like this when road workers are not yet on the road, school buses are not yet on the road, and the traffic is good, a minute could literally mean a minute. And especially in a place like this, which is a residential area, a minute literally means a minute. A mile is a mile. Now, it's different if you're in the city. A mile could mean literally 40 minutes of you being stuck in Boston traffic. A mile could literally take you a good 45 minutes to drive. And so when the Amazon algorithm is allocating where you're supposed to be taking packages, and they see, oh, wait a minute, that's just a mile away, it's going to be a minute. No, it could be a mile away and it's 25 minutes, 45 minutes for you to do that delivery. So, but here, residential area, a mile is a mile, a minute is a minute. And I like it that way. I love to keep it that way. This is package number 22. I'll be right back. It's dog food. There we go. We have 23, 24. 2 packages left. Woohoo! We got this bit. All right, so the other thing is, it's a workout. Literally, if you do a 5-hour shift, right? Working for Amazon Flex, dropping off packages, walking down driveways and stuff, it is kind of a workout. In actual sense, when I actually used to have this walking tracker watch I used to wear, and at the end of a 5-hour shift, you may find that you've actually walked up to 3-4 miles. So in retrospect, it's also a workout in a bit. And then if you're like me, who does not go up people's driveways, then you even get a bigger workout because you have to run up and down people's driveways. So it gets to be interesting. It really does get to be interesting. There we go. And of course the food. When I'm doing this, I eat a lot. When I'm alone in the car and there is nobody to tell you can't have soda for breakfast. There's nobody to tell you don't pop another piece of candy and you're feeling tired on the steering wheel. Most of the times I just pop food. I walk around with candy, I walk around with fruits. That's a big thing. I have to have water, but I walk around with fruits. I have to have apples and bananas and the water all the time. So I keep eating and eating as well. But the good thing, it doesn't stick on me because I eat and I run and I work out at the same time while I work. So there's a pack for it. You get more reasons to stuff your face. You get more reasons to stuff your faces. I listen to true crime podcasts. I listen to politics. I listen to news. One thing that I do though, if I'm driving people on Uber, I have to make sure I put on radios, because with the radio station, then you're not liable with what people hear. Actually, I was here in Rhode Island when somebody sent a notification to Uber saying that I was playing in offensive stuff in the car. I was playing Christmas music in the car. It was Christmas time, and that person reported me to Uber because she was a Muslim, and I did not pick up on it, and I just continued playing the Christmas station here in Rhode Island. And it was playing Christmas music, and for some reason she got so offended that when she was leaving my car, she slammed the door. I'm like, okay, what the hell? And then at the end of that shift, I got a notification that was coming from Uber that was saying that one of my riders was offended that I was playing inappropriate music in the car. But it's Christmas time. I'm a Christmas lover guy. I play Christmas music morning to evening when I'm doing Uber and I'm driving people around and it's Christmas season, and I'd never gotten any problem with it until that day. So that's why when I'm listening, I don't try to be a wise guy and play podcasts or play any other thing. I just play local radio. So whatever they're saying on radio at that point, they're liable to it. I'm not liable to it. And I'll ask the rider most of the times, what do you want to listen to? What radio station is better for you? Hang on a second. All right, that was our second last package. That was package number 23. So the last package, package number 24, is 2 minutes away. So in 2 minutes, we're gonna have this done. We'll be done in 2 minutes and we'll start trekking back into Massachusetts. But the thing is, we're gonna finish all of the 25 packages in less than before 7. So it gives us an hour to the end of our shift. So the way Amazon Flex tries to map it out is it wants at the end of your shift to be able to drive back to the station for a couple of reasons. This is the first reason. Most of the times you may have packages that you have to return to the station. So they want by the end of your shift for you to be able to drive all the way back to the station and return those packages. And if most of the times the way I've worked is if something does not delay you so much, for example, you found road work or there was emergencies or whatever, you will be able to work in your time and will be able to actually drive back to the station to return those packages if you have any to return. Now, if you don't have any packages to return, usually it will make sure by the end of the shift, the minute at the end of your shift, like today we're supposed to end at 8, that I'm gonna be at my house. And that's a plus. I try to always work like that. I try to work that at the end of my shift is the time that I'm going to be reaching my house, and that is always a plus. And finally, it's daytime outside. It's lit outside. It's 1 minute of 7. Actually, it just hit 7, and now everybody's out. Everybody's out. Now you're gonna meet all the drivers that are not serious about driving or whatever, but you're gonna just hit them on the drive back home. I'm just gonna hit them on the drive back home, so that's gonna be interesting. And drum roll please, this is gonna be our last drop off. If you've stuck around with me since where we started from at 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, thank you. I think we had to restart the live a few times because of connection issues and because of picking up my packages. So let's do this last one. And I'll come back and chit chat for a bit more because we still have an hour to drive back into Massachusetts. Woohoo! All done. That was the end of the shift. Now, usually at the end of the shift, for some reason, it's asking me this information that I usually just skip because I don't know what they use it for. They'll ask you how easy was it to return a package at the station. I did not return any packages today. Submit. And that's it. Now, my next shift will be today at 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So, thank God that is all done. Now, I'm gonna have to navigate back to Massachusetts. To my house. And there we go. So whoever was here with me and managed to stick with me for a little bit, I don't know how many people are there or how many people actually watch this live. It's a thing that I like doing every once in a while, and if you are a gig work like me or you're interested in gig work for some reason, you're an Uber person, you order on DoorDash, you use Amazon for Amazon Flex and all that stuff, we can always be here and chit chat and grab ideas off of each other. And I don't know about entertaining. It's not entertaining at all. It's never gonna be entertaining because I'm not a funny guy. But it's a good thing to know that there could be another person on the other end of the screen that I may be talking to. I don't know, but it is a good thing. So this is how ridiculous sometimes it could be. It is gonna take me 54 minutes to drive back to my house, and it's 48 miles. So you could see how ridiculous you're going to be adding miles on your car in a bit. In only one trip, I managed to add a very good, that's 48, and the 49 we added with almost 100 miles in one trip, just driving to and from where I dropped packages. Now that does not even put into consideration the miles that I spent distributing all the packages, which actually exists. I spent some time distributing, a lot of mileage distributing the packages. You saw that. So you will be racking up a lot of mileage on the car real fast. So that's where the 50,000 plus miles come from that will be going on your car in a year. I figured it out. I drive about 50,000 miles in total on my car. Alright, so I did a lot of talking today for 4 hours. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my zone and I'm going to put on a PBS documentary. I was watching this one about vampires or vampire, a woman in Norway that they unearthed thinking that people had buried a vampire. So I'm gonna put that on, which is what I usually go to when I'm working PBS. I love investigative journalism, so I keep listening to podcasts, true crime. I love Deadline and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this one where they actually unearthed a woman that they thought was buried sometime and that they thought she was a vampire. So that's the one I'm gonna go ahead and try to play for us right now.
The intention of stopping her from rising up had been opened. That would have been a heart-stopping moment, utterly chilling, because this meant that all your fears were probably true.
This serrated blade would behead the woman if she ever tried to escape.
As an insurance, this blade has been placed over her neck so that even if they can't turn her over face down, which would have been part of the culture of preventing her from rising, they can at least mean that when she tries to do it, she'll chop her own head off.
The evidence paints a shocking image of locals so terrified of a dead woman they'd gone to extreme lengths to prevent her from rising from the grave. But most incredibly, this woman was not alone on the hillside. Her grave, numbered 75, was just one of around 100 the team unearthed. Around a third were designated deviant burials, buried in strange ways or with objects intended to keep them in the grave. Chillingly, numerous children were uncovered, including one between 5 and 7 years old, found with the majority of its body missing. Nearby, a man was found with a child at his feet, laid out in the shape of a crucifix. Others were weighed down by rocks to prevent them from rising again. There was a pregnant woman. The grave next to hers was mysteriously empty. Taken together, These bizarre burials with their anti-vampiric talismans raised a frightening question. Had the archaeologists discovered not one, but a whole field of vampires?
This is not just an isolated fear of one person. This is a real craze. This is an epidemic of fear. The big question for me is what is going on in this area that has driven people to such levels of fear?
Something is really going on there, because the number of things they have buried her together with, it tells a story that the people burying her must have been absolutely terrified about her. I think the key could be to understand this specific woman in grave number 75 to start with.
The next stage in Oscar's investigation takes him to the ancient city of Torunia, 26 miles from Pienia and its mysterious field of vampires. It's here, at the Mikołajek Kopernika University, that he comes face to face with the woman buried as a vampire. He's meeting anthropologist Alicja Droz-Lipinska, who's reassembled the 206 bones in the woman's body. And she's noticed something unusual about the spine.
This is cervical vertebra, and we have this part of bone. It's the sign of Kimberley anomaly.
A Kimberley anomaly is a bony ridge on a cervical vertebra that occurs in 3 to 15% of the population. It can lead to headaches, neck pain, and even strokes. This woman would have suffered.
She had headaches. She would faint. So she was strange for people.
Yeah, what you tell me about her disease, that she faints, things like that, it gives so much to the whole image of this woman and our understanding of why she was treated the way she was.
The bones revealed that the woman was only around 18 years old when she died in the mid-17th century.
Would you be able to tell how she died? Is there any clue to her cause of death?
No, I have no idea why she died.
But she was sick.
She was sick.
Poor woman.
Sick.
Or child almost.
Yeah.
It's not known how people reacted to this woman when she was alive, but after she died, their treatment of her corpse was cruel.
I feel actually quite sad when I see it for real. Both when I hear about her diseases, but also when I actually see the sickle and the padlock and the size of them, it's quite brutal. So all in all, it's such a sad story. It's emotional, yeah. I feel very sad for her, and I think she deserves something better.
The skull is the focus of Oscar's attention. He will use it, he hopes, to recreate the woman's face.
I think she's got a rather nice face, actually, if I at this point could have a guess, but we'll see. The muscle attachments, they are so tiny. They are hardly visible. I think her muscles were not that well developed. I think she's got a rather broad nose. I would say her mouth is probably not dominating, but certainly a feature that will take its place in the face as a whole. I can see the details in a way, but even the final result will be a bit of a surprise to me.
For archaeologist Dariusz Polinsky, finding a potential field of vampires in Pienia is a dream come true.
It seems to me that people like to be afraid.
Dariusz has been fascinated by vampires since he first watched a Dracula film as a child. Since then, he's amassed a collection of vampire memorabilia. But it's the original vampire movie, Nosferatu, he loves most.
This film makes a great impression on me. I think this film is a work of art when it comes to using moods and images.
Made in Germany in 1922, Nosferatu was an instant classic. Based on Bram Stoker's Dracula, it tells the story of an aristocratic count who, in the dead of night, preys on women for the fresh blood he needs to stay alive. But that's not how the people of Pienia would have seen the woman in Grave 75 350 years ago. These vampires, known by multiple names, were the undead, a terrifying mix of ghost, witch, and zombie.
The vampire combines a lot of very scary things to a 17th century peasant. This is demonic. This is somebody who can cross that boundary between life and death, who can come back and visit almost unlimited terrors on you. So, given that a vampire is really a reflection of fear, the more fear you have, the more fear the vampire reflects back on you, because the more power the vampire has.
Today, the legend holds that vampires drink the blood of innocents. But in the 17th century, the opposite was true.
People who were suspected of being demons had their graves opened and body parts or blood taken from them. People drank this blood in order to protect themselves, as drinking blood is believed to be a protection against vampires.
At the time, people in Eastern Central Europe were always on the lookout for signs of vampirism. Anything unusual, any aberration or event outside the ordinary, anything could be a sign of the undead.
The master is dead.
For the archaeologists, finding the strange burial in Grave 75 is just the first step.
There's a whole range of forensic and scientific tests that you now need to do to really dig down into the big questions. Who was this? Where did they come from? What happened to them? And, I mean, hopefully, why?
To begin their investigation, Dariusz and Magdalena are having the bones x-rayed. Funds are tight, so they're having it done at the local veterinary clinic.
Should we lay out the bones on their own or comparatively?
Comparatively. I think that'll be the best solution.
Okay, we'll do it in pairs.
Magdalena has given the woman in Grave 75 a name to restore the dignity and humanity she was denied in death.
So now we'll enter the patient information. What should we call her? Okay, Zosia. I'll now get ready to take the photo. I'll put on my apron and ask you to leave the room for a moment.
X-rays are a formidable weapon in an archaeologist's armory, revealing crucial insights into how someone might have lived and how they died. Magdalena has spotted something unusual on Zosia's shin bone.
Doctor, what are the visible lines there? What are they?
They're probably Harris lines. They're more visible on the left bone, clearer, and more blurred on the right.
The leg bones of a healthy person grow continuously through childhood. These Harris lines indicate points where the growth paused and restarted.
It may be caused by the environment, or perhaps some medical issues.
They suggest Zosia went through periods of malnourishment, trauma, or disease during her childhood. Historical records provide a possible explanation. Zosia lived during a period known as the Little Ice Age.
We see temperatures drop, we see harvests decline, you see disease, you see, possibly not coincidentally, an uptick in war and rebellion. I mean, this is a time of real human suffering. It's a time where life gets very, very dicey for ordinary people.
Zosia would have known periods of real hardship as a child, potentially affecting her physical development.
In a time when people are looking for answers to confusing and confounding questions, such as, why is it suddenly colder? Why is nothing growing? It's very natural to go looking for somebody to blame, for people to blame. And as we know from the whole of human history, who do you look to when you're searching for scapegoats? Outsiders.
Can the bones reveal more about why Zosia was singled out by her community? To answer that, they need cutting-edge forensic insight, which will take the investigation across the Atlantic. In order to look deep inside the bones, forensic anthropologist Heather Edgar has arranged for CT scans to be sent to the New Mexico office of the medical investigator, where she works. And she's seen something unusual in the woman's breastbone.
If we look at the edges, right in the middle here, you can see some bone that looks empty. It could be a cancer. It could be something like a hemangioma, which is a benign tumor, or it could be an aneurysmal bone cyst.
This wouldn't have killed the woman in grave 75, but it wouldn't have been pleasant either.
All the reports that I've read of conditions that are like this describe a lot of pain. So yes, it's likely the person suffered.
This growth might also have fueled suspicion that Zosia was a vampire.
There's a variety of ways that something like this could present on the external surface. One way it could present would be with a red mark. It might actually have been very bright red. Another way it could present would be with a very, very big swelling. Imagine the size of a softball. So if her chest could be seen, it is the center where the heart is. And it couldn't be known that this wasn't coming directly from the heart. And I suspect that anything different would have marked this person in a negative way.
In an age where any visible difference could put a target on a person's back, this was a dark mark against this woman. The discovery is a real breakthrough in understanding more about why she may have been so feared and suffered such a strange burial. Back in Sweden, Oscar starts the process of reconstructing Zosia's face.
This is the scientific part of the process where I try to be objective. I really try to forget everything I know about the burial, about her fate.
With information about Zosia's age, weight, and health, Oscar can consult standardized anatomical measurements of tissue depth. These details will enable him to create an accurate model of Zosia's face.
These measurements I then transfer to these plastic pegs and then glue them to the skull.
Oscar begins to rebuild the woman's facial muscles using clay. It's a skill he's perfected over 30 years of forensic facial reconstruction.
I'm used to reconstructing faces, but in this case, also, I'm looking forward to give her some human dignity back.
There's growing evidence the woman's physical appearance, potential malnourishment, striking facial features, and a large visible mark on her chest may have played a major role in her ultimate degradation of being buried as a vampire. But as the team examines her skull, they find evidence that not everything in her life was miserable. These delicate strands of fabric potentially reveal a different side to Zosia's story. In Łódź, 125 miles south of Torunia, Dariusz and Magdalena have asked textile expert Maria Cebulska to investigate. The fragile fibers are loaded into a special microscope, which uses electrons rather than light to produce super magnified images. Maria and her colleague Jacek Grabarczyk zoom in to explore the tiny threads.
You can see them clearly. Here we have some, and measure the diameter of the single fiber, 8 micrometers. So it cannot be any fiber but silk. It's just so fine.
In 17th century Poland, silk would have been an incredibly expensive fabric, a material that most locals could never afford. And it isn't the only precious commodity found in Grave 75.
But the most interesting for me are these metal thread. What is chemical composition of this thread? Is silver. Actually, it's only silver. Yes. It's pure silver. Very high quality. No copper, no other cheaper materials. Very nice.
Several of the silk fibers have been carefully wrapped in silver to produce metallic thread. But what Maria finds next is a real surprise.
So we need to check in many places because if oh, here we have something, okay. Oh yeah, oh here you can see some gold. So it's like that stripe was gilded.
So while she was condemned by her community as a vampire, this woman was also decorated in death with silk threads wrapped in silver and gold.
If this was made of silk and gold and silver threads, it means it was quite luxurious product, and it says something about status, social status of this girl. She couldn't be poor because poor people couldn't afford buying such expensive goods.
It appears the woman, so badly treated after death, may have been wealthy in life. But even wealth and status, it seemed, offered little protection against being labeled a vampire. High above the village of Cartesian, in what is now Slovakia, is Cartesian Castle. Just before the woman in Grave 75 was born, in the early 17th century, this castle was home to a woman later dubbed Countess Dracula. Local historian Marian Imryshka has lived in the castle's shadow his entire life. He knows its dark past better than anyone.
This is the home of Elizabeth Bathory, otherwise known as the Blood Countess.
Stories of Bathory's alleged crimes have been passed down through generations.
The legend is saying that Elizabeth tortured over 650 young girls, and she killed them and she was drinking the blood to gain the power of the young girls.
But before any accusations were made, Elizabeth had been one of the most loved and respected members of the community.
She was a really inspiring woman because she was really educated. She was meeting with all kinds of people here on the castle, with teachers, with philosophers, or with alchemists. So, for my opinion, she was one of the most impressive women in the whole world.
Things began to change after her husband, Count Ferenc Nadoji, died in 1604. Rumors soon began to spread about the widow Bathory, living alone in her castle.
People started to tell stories about vampires and about that Elizabeth is actually a vampire and she's leaving the castle to threat the people from the village. And the priest started to tell these crazy stories about Elizabeth.
Encouraged by Bathory's enemies, it wasn't long before these horrific stories took on a life of their own. According to some accounts, Countess Bathory even bathed in the blood of her young victims. Few people ever visit this place. It's in these very tunnels that Elizabeth is said to have tortured and killed hundreds. But can these lurid tales be trusted? Behind much of the evidence was a man who had a lot to gain from denouncing the so-called Blood Countess. In 1610, King Matthias of Hungary ordered a secret investigation into the stories about Elizabeth. He also happened to owe Bathory a huge amount of money.
The investigators came to these tunnels and discovered all about torturing the girls. The investigators were asking the servants what they did to the young girls.
The servants were arrested, tortured, and then put on trial. All were found guilty. 3 were burnt alive. And another beheaded, then burnt. Elizabeth Bathory was condemned to house arrest.
She was imprisoned in the castle. She could walk around the castle.
The Countess died in this room on August the 21st, 1614. But today, some historians have suggested that Elizabeth Bathory was less a vampire and more a victim of malicious gossip.
Elizabeth was one of the most powerful women in that time, and for sure, the people or the other counts were frightened of this power.
She was female at a time of rampant misogyny. She was intelligent, she was clever, and perhaps most importantly of all, she had powerful enemies, including the King of Hungary, who owed her money. And those things combined made her a very viable target for political attack, which in this case was obviously accusations of the most scandalous and shocking and violent sort.
Once she was convicted of the crimes, King Matthias's debt was conveniently written off. Elizabeth Bathory shows how fear and the suggestion of vampirism could be powerful weapons that could bring down anyone in the 17th century and feed a hysteria across Europe about the threat of the undead. Back in Łódź, textile expert Maria Cebulska has continued her study of the fabric found in Grave 75, and she has something striking to show Oscar.
So this is the only...
everything from the cloth.
Yeah.
These silk fibers are so crispy. Every time you try to move them from the fabric, they just turn into dust.
Maria believes these gold and silver-wrapped silk threads once formed part of a decorative band around a head cap.
So the first basic thing is the cup we know she had, almost for sure. Yes, and this cup, that it was trimmed in the front with this band we found.
With her analysis, Maria can describe what the head cap might have looked like. It's an impressively fine piece of clothing. What's striking is the pattern is not local to Piena, and neither is the silk.
There was a lot of mills weaving wool, high quality wool, but about silk, probably was imported.
But there's another explanation. The woman in grave 75 might have brought this cap with her from her place of birth. She might not have been from Piena at all. To find out more about where she might have come from, the team is turning to chemical analysis. They've extracted her teeth and sent them halfway across the world to the United States. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, anthropologist Paige Lynch is an expert at drawing evidence out of ancient bones.
First thing I do after I bring the samples back to our lab is I have to clean the bones and the teeth. I will use a Dremel to remove any contaminants that might have infiltrated the surface of either the bone or the tooth within the past 200, 300 years.
Paige drills down to extract powdered enamel for testing. This tooth's enamel would have developed when Zosha was between 2.5 and 8 years old. The enamel in a child's teeth absorbs strontium isotopes present where they live. Analysis of the strontium ratios can indicate where the person grew up.
There's a couple possibilities of where this individual likely was from.
The results are marked onto this map of Europe with different colors indicating different ratios.
For our individual, we're looking around the green and the yellow areas.
She could have come from several regions across Poland. But the woman's unusual grave leads Paige to suspect it might be further afield.
So the upper Rhine region of Germany, modern-day Germany, is a possibility, as well as southern Scandinavia or modern southern-day Sweden.
The fact that Zosha might have been Swedish is significant and might account for the way she was treated. Today, Sweden is famous for being at peace for the last 200 years. But in the 17th century, it was one of the great European powers. Around the time Zosha died, Sweden invaded Poland. 3,000 people died during a bitter 3-month siege of Torunia, just 20 miles from Piena. If Zosha was Swedish, she would have been very unpopular.
The fact that she might have been from Sweden is really interesting, and I do feel perhaps a bit closer to her than I would have been if she was not from Scandinavia.
After 150 hours of work, Oscar has almost completed the first stage of the reconstruction.
I am applying the last tiny details with a needle to create small wrinkles and pores and even out surfaces.
Next, Oscar casts the face in silicone, a realistic-looking skin substitute.
This is where she comes to life. When you look at the face, that you should be convinced that this is actually a real person.
After waiting 24 hours for the cast to dry, Oscar can find out if his hard work paid off or if he has to start all over again.
It looks good. It's also a bit of a nerve-cracking job here to get the face out of the mold, but it was successful, so I'm very pleased.
Next, Oscar will use his artistic skills to bring Zosha back to life.
It's really quite ironic, isn't it, that we're doing the exact opposite of what the people of Pien were doing.
The team now has a much better understanding of why the Pienya locals might have been so keen for Zosha to remain buried.
This is a woman who would have stood out as different in so many ways. She looked different to everybody else. She was wealthy, so she would have stood out for that reason. She was quite possibly Swedish, so you would have stood out like a sore thumb. I think that fear of the other, that fear of the neighbor, of even the conqueror, the invader, would have been something that stirred very strong emotions in ordinary people. I think that there would have been air towards her.
But that doesn't explain the rest of the strange graves found in the field. Further analysis of the other deviant graves has revealed that Zosha wasn't the only one treated brutally. No one in Pienya, it seems, was safe from being labeled a vampire. Even small children. Disturbances in the soil indicate the people of Pienya opened this child's grave and turned the body face down. But that's not all they did to this child. The top part of the body is entirely missing.
Most of the remains were taken away. Why was it done? It's impossible to say exactly.
It's possible that the legs were left so that this padlock didn't have to be removed. This isn't the only child buried with the padlock. This 1-year-old baby was found with a lock at its grave.
What could such a child do? Not only was it small, it could barely walk. Why are they so afraid of such a child?
This child was clearly deeply loved in life. They're one of the few who was granted the privilege of being buried in a coffin. But in death, precautions were taken against them. The presence of another distinctive triangular padlock suggests there might have been a link with the woman in grave 75. Bizarre as it may seem, archaeologists have unearthed numerous deviant burials all over Eastern Europe. Although the practice seems to have been more widespread in Pienya than anywhere else. Now it appears these outbreaks were part of a hysteria that swept across early modern Eastern and Central Europe, often involving church and state, sometimes leading to bizarre trials of the dead. One of the most spectacular happened in the tiny village of Freihermersdorf in the modern-day Czech Republic. Historian Adam Mizej thinks a visit to this town might provide insight into what the people of Pienya were thinking. It all began here, shortly after one woman, a healer named Mariana Salingren, died and was buried in this cemetery.
Villagers started experiencing strange nighttime attacks. We are essentially talking about poltergeist phenomena, objects moving by themselves, strange noises, apparitions of animals that shouldn't be there.
Church authorities soon began to investigate. 29 bodies were dug up and put on trial in a strange spectacle. 19 were convicted of being vampires. Townspeople suspected Mariana of infecting the graveyard with vampirism after her death.
What changes during this vampire panic is the belief that the dead can infect the dead, so that within one cemetery, one vampire can start turning the rest of the cemetery into vampires, and suddenly you're faced with the possibility of an army of the undead.
The bodies were loaded onto carts and taken to be executed, despite already being dead. But exactly where has never been found. Adam hopes an extraordinary historical document, a military map from the time, along with new research from a local historian, might help him find the site. He believes it could shed light on the events at the Field of Vampires in Pienya. Following the old road, Adam arrives at a clearing near where he believes the executions must have happened.
We can be fairly certain that the execution site was somewhere here on one of these little hills along this path.
Government records from the time state corpses arrived here at dawn on January 31st, 1755, accompanied by more than 100 armed watchmen. The executioner set up 3 stakes and not only burnt the corpses, but everything that had come with them from the graveyard, including shrouds, wooden crosses, and even the soil that was dug up with the bodies.
In the beginning, the fire was watched by a great number of people, but according to our sources, the crowd dispersed very fast because of the stench.
Adam can see parallels between this site and the Field of Vampires in Piena.
Both were situated at the border of a given community. They are both locations for those kinds of people who had been rejected by the community and ousted for whatever reason to the borders, to the no man's land.
And this mass re-execution site could help explain why the people of Piena kept reopening the graves and adding anti-vampiric safeguards to the bodies.
Freihermsdorf represents, I think, what happens if you let a vampire crisis get out of control. And so I think the field in Piena shows a community who are trying to stop a problem from spreading until it takes over the whole region, I mean, and who knows what beyond.
New evidence has revealed that there may have been some basis to that fear.
The concentration of anomalies is located.
Been some basis to that fear. A ground survey has picked up potential graves outside the excavated area.
The concentration of anomalies is located just